Happy Sunday, everybody. We're back with another episode. I got my Jiu-Jitsu daughter, Shayna, on today. How's it going,
Hi.
Shayna?
Hi, I'm doing good, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You can probably see like my background is not my normal background. We having some work done in the house, so the studio's under construction. So we got some virtual backgrounds today. Okay, so for those of people out there that don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself, the school you train at, and your rank?
My name's Shayna Kawamura, and I train at Kansept Academy, under Jeremiah San Nicolas, and I am a blue belt.
About, yeah. I think,
A
I
blueberry.
think, did you, I think you started after me and Carter. We were pretty close, right, when you started? Trying to remember.
Uh, I think maybe we started around the same time,
Around the same
potentially.
time, yeah. Yeah, around the same time. Okay, okay. But because you started at Concept at Blue, I'm gonna assume you started somewhere else. So why don't we talk about where you got started?
Okay, so I first trained at Gracie Allegiance, and this location of this gym was like near like McKinley High School at the time. Um, and I left just due to like the gym culture and the politics, and also just for other personal reasons. And so that's where I first started. And then I ended up switching over to Sunset Beach Jiu-Jitsu, which is on the North Shore. And I was training underneath Jeff Donor at the time. And I got my blue belt from him. And I actually started getting into competitions at Sunset. And I ended up moving to Jeremiah's school because I felt that I because I wanted to compete more, I needed more tools to compete and I needed much more prep. And so that was something that Jeremiah was able to provide, which was why like I made the switch.
Okay,
So like
so
wanting to compete more.
okay, so I mean, what got you started in jiu-jitsu in the first place?
I actually first started doing judo. And I was doing judo like right before COVID and I got super into it. And then COVID hit and I heard that people were kind of training out of their garages and somebody I knew at the time was like, oh, hey, you should try out jujitsu. And so that's how I first got into it.
I see, I see. So judo was that in high school? High school?
Uh, no, so judo was like when I was out of high school. So it was like right before COVID hit. So like 2019 potentially. Like
Okay,
I did judo for a little bit, and I wasn't good at it. I don't like being thrown. But I'm a white belt. I'm still a white belt in judo. Will always be a white belt. But um that's where I kind of started first.
okay.
Or just
So
getting introduced to martial arts.
okay, so judo led to jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
What led? How did you get started in judo?
Um just wanted to try something new. And also I was going to the gym often and I felt like the gym wasn't providing me what I needed at the time. I felt like I needed something more. So I wanted to try out judo.
If COVID hadn't happened, could you see yourself have been continuing to do judo?
Yes, if COVID didn't happen, then I would have most likely continued to do judo. And I actually competed in one tournament in judo.
Ah, interesting. What was the of course you didn't know anything about it, but once you started doing judo, what was the attraction to judo? What kind of motivated you to keep going?
Um, I would say for judo, it's being able to be kind of like present in the moment and also like you would have to focus on grips and technique. And so that was something that drew me to it. And also it is like a strenuous activity. And so it, I feel like it provided me an like extra addition of like physical activity that I needed on top of going to the gym.
I see. I see. So, okay, so even further back than judo, so like high school and even youth, Did you do any sort of sports, athletics, martial arts then?
Yes. So for, I would say, majority of my life, I played softball. So I would say I started playing softball when I was like in third grade, and I played all the way up until sophomore year. And I tried out track, and it definitely wasn't for me. Um, I tried out track and tried to specialize in doing hurdles. And I'm not very coordinated, so I'm definitely like tripping everywhere. And then my junior year of high school, I tried wrestling, and that was not for me. I am not built to be a wrestler. The amount of conditioning that you need is like insane, and I don't have that in me. It's too much.
Yeah, every single person that I talked about wrestling was like lots of running, and then that's just before you even start the practice, and after that, and I got tired just listening to what they needed to do to get ready. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so did you do any athletics senior year or no?
I did not do any athletics senior year. Or, well, I tried out for cheerleading, but I'm not coordinated, so I didn't get on that team. But I tried it. That's what
Alright,
matters. I tried. I
at
tried
least
to
you
do
tried.
cheerleading.
Okay,
And
so
then judo or
judo.
break, judo, and then COVID. And then after COVID, or when restrictions were lifting, then it was jiu-jitsu.
So I'm curious, right? You start softball like at a very early age, and you go up to sophomore year. Did you lose interest, burn out, just got tired of it? Like, why did it stop?
I would say I stopped playing softball because I didn't have any heart for it anymore, and there was a lot of pressure. And also, I would say within any sport, there's a lot of politics,
Hmm.
and having to like, compete against other people or your teammates in a sense to, get playing time. And I just felt that softball like wasn't for me anymore. Like I like lost heart for it.
Did the did the pressure like okay, so I'm gonna try to dive a little deeper into the pressure aspect, right? Was that a like something you put on yourself? Did you feel it from like maybe your family? Did you feel it from external areas? Or when you say pressure, the pressure to perform or be better than others?
I would say the pressure that I put on myself, but also pressure from like coaches. And I would say coaching style definitely matters, like who your coach is, and I would say how they communicate to you um, definitely matters. And I feel like the coach that I had at that time, he was very like tough.
So, I mean, if you had to like honestly evaluate like your skill level, right, in softball, were you okay? Were you pretty good? Like, if you continued on, could you have potentially leveraged it for some sort of,
I was actually
scholarship?
interested in playing softball in like college. Like that was something that like I wanted to do. But again, when you play a sport or anything that you do, you have to have heart and you have to have love. And so you don't want to just do a sport just to do it because there's no fun in that. Like especially, like being a kid and like, you're growing up into this sport, like, and also like on a side note, like I used to help out with kids class too. And so like you definitely see like, for example, some parents put their kids in a sport and they don't necessarily want to be there. And so it's like you as a person, if you're doing a sport, like you want to have heart in it. And so for me, it's like I didn't have that heart. So it's like, how can I show up and, be the best version of myself? Uh, you know, be the best version in a team with my teammates if I'm not like mentally there. Like that's not
Right.
fair to my teammates, that's not fair to my coaches, and that's not fair to myself. So,
Yeah.
which was like, you want to do a sport because you love it and you like have heart for it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, so you started at an early age. Is that like, did you choose softball or was like, they said, okay, you can choose between these multiple things? Like, what attracted you to softball?
My sister played softball too, and also like my parents wanted to put us into a sport, so it was softball. Kind of
Mm,
like grew up into it.
okay. Do you think that with those early years of competing, that it helped to build your competitive spirit?
In jiu-jitsu,
In
or
jiu-jitsu, yeah, yeah, in jiu-jitsu, in life, basically.
I would most definitely say so. I mean, being on a team and playing team sports, I would say that definitely helped me like build the courage and build the courage to like be able to communicate with other people, have relationships, and that definitely translates to jujitsu, or I would say like any type of martial art. Like I won't um I can't compete and be where I am without my teammates because it's like who am I gonna drill jujitsu techniques on? Like a jujitsu dummy can only, do so much, but it's like you rely, I would say, in any sport, you rely really heavily on like your teammates because it's like if they're not there, then you don't have a training partner. And if you don't have a training partner, then how are you going to prep yourself to like compete in tournaments? So it's even though martial arts is like some people, it's like, oh, it's an individual sport. It's technically not an individual sport. It's truly like a team thing.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I say that a lot, and that's 100% accurate. I agree with you on that completely. Okay, so you have a short time at Gracie Allegiant, the first school, then you go to Sunset Beach. So let's talk more about the Sunset Beach side. Like, so when you start there, um, is it difficult? I mean, it's obviously not judo, but you didn't do judo that much anyway. But are you having challenges? Like you said, if you're uncoordinated, like doing the warm ups, the shrimps, the four rolls, are you struggling to do some of that stuff?
I would say having background in judo really helped kind of prep me for jujitsu in a sense because in judo, the warm-ups we did was like forward rolls, back rolls, how to break fall. So like, how to fall properly so you don't injure yourself. Um, and then that translated over to jujitsu because, like you do forward rolls, back rolls. Like, I mean, at least at Sunset, because those were like the warm ups, we would like run in a circle and then do like line drills. So, in a way, like physically, it prepped me, but also not to like toot my own horn, but like I think I would say I'm pretty physically fit. so so it prepped me
Mm,
to be like prepared for that in a sense.
I
But
see. I
at
see.
Sunset I definitely had a difficult time with like shrimping. That was not something um that came really easy to me. I had to work really
Yeah,
hard on how to shrimp.
it's not a traditional movement that a person who doesn't do jujitsu would do. So yeah, I know a lot of people have difficulties with it. So when you first start at Sunset, are there other women there too?
I would say from what I remember there was like somewhat like a good group of, women, but I would say it was definitely like male dominant. There was a lot of males, of course. Like jujitsu is definitely a male dominated sport.
Did you did you see that as a not a hurdle, but a challenge for you that, being a younger female coming into a male dominated sport to try to break in and try to get the hang of this thing called jujitsu? Was it a challenge for you?
Rolling with other guys didn't deter me or like knowing that this sport is like heavily male dominated, it didn't deter me at all. If anything, it kind of like pushed me a lot. It helped me in a sense like step out of my comfort zone because you're not going to grow when you're comfortable, but also
That's true.
too I I knew that I wanted to compete, and so my my thinking or like my mindset was like, okay, if I'm able to roll with a guy who biologically is like most definitely stronger than me, possibly have like, heavier than me and taller than me, then it's like if I can use technique on, this person and I know that I want to compete, then that would translate into when I roll with females. So like I saw that as an opportunity to kind of like grow.
What do you think were one of the bigger challenges that you faced when you started off at Sunset Beach?
I would say one of the biggest challenges would have been the way or competition preparation. I would say like I love the school, like training there was great and it did provide me a lot of the tools that I needed in a sense to grow. And like I feel like any place that you go, you're going to learn something and you're always going to take away something. And like Sunset provided me what I needed at the time. But like what made me really switch was like the competition prep, like knowing that, one of your students wants to compete and, or just like any of your students wanting to compete and you weren't given like the tools in a sense to succeed. Like I know that when you do any type of sport, like, you're the driver, like you are in charge of steering the boat. You're in charge of where you go and that your coaches can only provide you so much tools and guidance. But yes, it's you that has to like take charge. And so it's like at the time of wanting to compete and expressing like, I want to compete more, feeling like you weren't getting enough prep. And it was like the prep was given maybe like 2 weeks before, like, oh, there's a tournament happening. Let's prepare. And it's like, I wouldn't say it wasn't really formal prep like how Jeremiah does comp class. It was like, let's do like rounds, let's do like a bull ring or like bull rushing or whatnot. And that doesn't prepare you like technically, doesn't prepare your mindset. And that was like a lot of the tools that I needed that I was really like essentially lacking. Cause it's like, if you sign up for a tournament, you're paying money for it. That's one. And then also like when you show up on like match day, like you want to be prepared. And I remember like showing up to my matches like Naga and being extremely like frazzled because it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Mentally, it's like, I'm not there. And also technically it's like, what is my game? I don't know my game. Like I don't have a game plan. It was always like pull guard and that was it. And it's like pull guard, but what do you do from there? Like there's more steps to it. Like you have to chain things. You have to be able to connect all your techniques to like submission, like from the start to the end. And so that game plan was what was missing.
When you were at Sunset, how frequently were you able to train?
I trained 5 times a week. I train all the time. I essentially live at the gym, and Jeremiah knows that. I live at the gym. That's like my
Yeah,
life.
so back to your days at Sunset Beach, right? So you're there for a while. Um, you you get your blue belt, right? Did you feel like a sense of like accomplishment or validation? Like, I think I kind of know what's going on. My coach sees that I'm ready for promotion. Did you kind of feel that way when you got presented your belt?
When I got my blue belt, I I was I was happy that I got I viewed it as like, I grew. I went to the next step, you know, but at the same time, there was that feeling of like, I wish I competed more as a white belt because I feel like any athlete you kind of talk to in jiu-jitsu, they're always going to be like, I don't feel ready for my belt. But it's like the coach sees things that athletes don't see, or just sports in general. Like the coach will always see your growth, because a lot of the times as like within jiu-jitsu, like you see your growth as like this, and your growth is like this, but like your coach sees it. I feel like your coach sees it this way most of the time.
Mm.
Like your coach can
Mm.
always see you growing, and you don't really recognize your progress, because a lot of the times we can all be in our own heads. But with getting my blue belt, I really didn't want it. Like I wish that I competed more, and yeah, I didn't want it. Like I wanted to stay as a white belt, but I know that staying there meant that, you're not growing. Like, and anywhere you are in life, if you're stagnant and you're staying in the same spot, you're not growing. But just to answer your question, I didn't want it.
Okay, so
But
you
then
were,
hypothetically, if I was to get my purple belt, I don't want that either. Like I
I
like
was,
being a blue.
I was just gonna say, because how long were you a white belt? About 2 years?
Mm, I would say so, about 2 years.
Because pretty soon we're 3 years in at Concept, and you've been a blue belt at Concept for 3 years, and you were partially at the other school for a bit too. So you're getting close
I
to that time.
remember getting my blue belt in like December of maybe 2022, potentially,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So 4 years
I've
at
been a
blue
blue
belt,
belt for a while.
four
Yeah.
years at blue belt. That's a long time. That's quite a long time. Yeah. I feel a change in color coming at some point in the not too distant future. And I
Well, if
know you
Jeremiah is
talk,
watching this, which I have a feeling he might be,
he
I don't
will.
want it.
And
But
just like you
I
said,
know that
right?
it's coming.
Just like you said, the coach sees it and he's gonna give it to you when he's ready. So yeah,
Yes.
it's yeah. Because I remember we started about the same time, and that first few months, I think I started in like August or something, and then like there was a Naga like a couple months later, and you and I were the only competitors from Concept that one year. I think I took second because there was only two guys, but I can't remember how you did in that tournament. Do you remember that Naga, that first one we had Concept?
I think I got silver, I think.
I think you got silver. Yeah, I
That
think you
was
got silver
that
too.
was the first tournament that I had Jeremiah coach me.
Yeah, yeah. But I remember back then you had like a routine that you followed before every comp. Like you didn't know who you didn't want to know who was in your bracket, and your mom would drop you off, and you had all these little things that like you're so rigid about how you did that. I mean, I was kind of like, okay, I get it, right? And I didn't try to break you of it, but I mean, like now, it you don't even. I mean, it's almost like you don't even care. Like you've
No.
grown accustomed to it. Yeah.
Well, now when it comes to competition, like prep for myself, I would say like at least how I prep the day of competition is like, of course, I'll wake up in the morning, get ready. Like I'll take a shower, I'll take a cold shower, like rinse off, like get my mindset ready. Um, and I will drive myself to the tournament, listen to good music, making sure I'm hydrated. And every tournament that I've done, um, there on my phone, I have actually like a list of like what I read before the tournament, and I can just list a few. And these are things that I always tell myself before I compete, because I feel like when you compete, you're always in your own head, and you are definitely your own worst critic. And if you keep fueling all of that like negative energy and are all up in your own head, at that point when you shake your opponent's hand, you've already lost, because you are all up in there. And so like a few things I'll tell myself is like, it's always me versus me. Like when I step on that mat and I shake my opponent's hand, it's always me against myself. It's always me against how I did at the last tournament. It's not me. I mean, yes, it's me versus my opponent, but essentially it's me versus myself, because it's like you want to keep getting better. You want to keep growing. And then I always tell myself that I am my best when I am not stressed. Because holy crap, when you are stressed, you don't perform well either. Like, you know, so that mindset of waking up in the morning, having your own routine, taking care of yourself, doing that self-care, whatever it may be. I paint my nails, like that helps me prepare, look good, feel good. Like, so whatever that may be for, somebody, like, but those are some of the things that I do. And I would say another one that is definitely important that I say to myself is like, I will step on that mat with confidence because I trained hard and I believe in myself and my game, and just telling myself that I will be first to my guard and play my game. So like by telling yourself that, you're already kind of ingraining that into your brain, so that when you shake hands with the person on the mat, it's like you're already like essentially like locked in. You're locked and loaded. But yeah, like you're locked in, like you're ready. And what Jeremiah always has on his wall, train, believe, execute. As cheesy as that sounds, but that's important.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
something that I definitely take to heart. But
Yeah,
wait,
because
I wanted to
I
add on, the most
go
important
ahead.
thing is fighting with heart. And that's something that Jeremiah taught me. And that just goes back to what we were talking about earlier of like, when you do a sport, you do something, anything that you do, work, personal, like just anything, you need to have heart for it. Because if you don't have heart, then, that's unfair to everybody around you and yourself. So it's like, when I step on that mat, like I am going to fight hard. And no matter the result, that doesn't determine my worth as a person. I'm not disappointing anybody around me. You're not a failure. It's because you went on that mat, you tried your best, and you fought with heart. And that's all that anybody can ask for, including yourself. Like essentially you're showing up for yourself. So yes, fighting with heart. You got to unleash your inner dog.
I know when we first met, I could sense a lot of times when you were competing, you were in your head a lot, right? The physical, the technique, that was in place. You just needed to get the right mindset. So I'm happy that you have a ritual that helps to clear your head before you compete. Because you're right. If you're in your own head when you're shaking hand with the opponent, you pretty much lost the match already. It's hard to fight yourself and your opponent and expect to win. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, when
Yeah.
we first started too, I was very like robotic. I still
You,
kind of am. I still am.
mm,
With passing, I'm very robotic.
well, I mean, you're still early in your journey and we're still working through
Yeah.
those little pieces and we'll help to get to where you need to be. But I think as the mental aspect of your competition game, you did well to make adjustments, because if the Shayna I met 3 years ago had the same mindset as you had that mindset now, you would not be doing as well as you're doing now. Yeah. So good job on that.
Sometimes I'm still like anxiety from inside out, like especially when I can't find my coach. Well, well, I was so used to having Jeremiah coach me that there would be points where I was like, where's my coach? Like on fight day. And it's like having to be like, where's my coach? Where is he? And then he shows up and you're like, oh, phew. Because there has been tournaments where like I didn't have a coach and like my coach didn't show up at that time. And so I was like, I don't have a coach. And then slowly it kind of just grew into like, Jeremiah, I don't need you. I mean, like, I need you, but like,
Yeah.
I don't need you
Right.
to coach
Right.
me. Rob can coach me. Carter can coach me. Alika can coach me. And like being able to build that trust with, other people to coach you. But I do want to say though that like when you compete, it's so important to be able to have that trust with somebody else because essentially they're your second pair of eyes. Like, like if Jeremiah can't coach me, then like it's Robin Carter, you know? Like you guys coach me. And if you guys aren't there, then like Alika. So it's like I have backup people that I trust that are like, I trust you as my second set of eyes. But I don't need you to tell me like, Shayna, do this, do that. It's more like, hey, I see an opening, or like, don't put your hand there, or like, hey, uh, move your right foot, you know, like stuff like that to kind of get me out of positions. But it's frustrating when your coach calls out something that is like wrong or like move your right foot. I mean left foot. And you're like trying to like
Yeah.
listen and like do it at the same time.
You do bring up a very important point for competitors to have that athlete coach connection. Yeah, the trust and knowing that whatever they say, I will blindly follow it because you see better than what I see. And that's built. Yeah, it's not something that is given on day one. So I think it's a testament that amount of time that you work with Jeremiah and me and Carter and Alika, that we built that trust relationship. And unfortunately, not every competitor has someone like that in their corner. I mean, you're fortunate you got, a number of people that you trust. So it's definitely helpful on
And
competition
being
day.
able to like pick up your coach's voice too. And also like while you're competing, it's like picking up your coach's voice, but also going back to like the trust part of like you trust your coach that you're going to do what they say and you're not going to fight it. Because in the past with like coaching, I would definitely fight it. Like there would be points where it's like Jeremiah would call out something and I'm like, no, I got this. And then I don't got it.
Well, if we think back to that first Naga, right? I think yours was, what was yours? Double pant grip? And mine was something, Jeremiah was calling me something. I just was ignoring it. We were both ignoring his, because we were brand new. But like I said, right, it was our first competition with him. We didn't know any better. We're stuck in our old ways. But now it's like you said, 100% trust. Yeah. So we built
Everybody
that.
was yelling double pant grip, Shayna. Double pant grip. Like I would say pretty much a lot of people were yelling double pant grip to do the what is that? The dummy sweep?
Mm,
No,
mm.
I just kept my close guard and I just stayed there. Like I just held on.
I think sometimes those types of habits, not so much the actual movement, but listening to what someone's calling to you, it's hard to change. It takes time. It took time with me, right? And it took time with you. I mean, I'm a brown belt and I still didn't listen to what he said. So belt doesn't matter. Yeah, it's time and the trust, the experience, the mat time together. Yeah. So we built that up. I know you kind of have a love-hate relationship with weight/food.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do very much.
Yeah, because I mean, most of the time you're trying to cut weight, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's a difficult challenge for losing weight, but what do you try to do when you need to cut maybe 5 pounds?
I would say just weight or my journey with like weight in general. I feel like with women, the way that we view ourselves when it comes to weight is very different in a way than how men view themselves. I mean, I would say both genders, like we both feel insecure about our weight in different ways, but biologically, like women lose weight much slower than men. Like you guys can cut weight fast. Um, Easy in a sense. And like for women, like you have to take into consideration like our hormones and like everything else under the sun. And so like as a woman, it's hard to cut weight. Especially if you're cutting like 5 pounds. So like having to run, watching what you eat. And this was a conversation I was actually talking with Megan about because she cuts weight too. But like with cutting weight, sometimes you can get in your own head about it because it's like in the morning or however long you prep in a way to cut. But for me, if I have to cut, I'm gonna prep like a few months in advance. So it's like I'm not struggling last minute to like cut that few extra pounds and like putting that extra stress on myself. And that is because Megan, she motivates me to not wait till the last minute to cut because I've seen how miserable she is when she has to wait until the last minute to cut. So like taking that into consideration. But yes, running, eating, watching what you're eating, but also with weight in general, like before it's gotten much better, but before I would step on that scale and I would weigh myself and like that number on the scale doesn't determine your worth. But like there would be days where you step on the scale or I've stepped on that scale and I was like, oh great, like I'm losing weight. And then like the next day I step on the scale and I'm like, what the heck? Why did the number go up? And like the way that you feel about yourself, it goes like this, like when you're cutting weight, like just as from like a female perspective, like your weight doesn't determine your value at all. And the clothes that you wear, like you wear clothes to like for you to fit in them. Like you don't shrink your size just so you can fit clothes. But like cutting weight it was definitely difficult. Or just, building that healthy relationship like with food. And like jiu-jitsu has definitely helped me in that journey of like not being so not just rigid, but also again, your worth as a person isn't determined by the number on that scale. And it's like on the weekends, I just eat what I want to eat if I'm not cutting. And like, you should be able to like enjoy food. And so like jiu-jitsu really taught me that in a sense. And so like, there is a tournament coming up and I am watching my weight and it's like, I'll eat what I want on the weekends within my, calorie range. And then this time around, like once competition is over, like, yes, I'm going to still eat mindfully, but, if the next comp is like maybe like 5 months away, then it's like, you can enjoy food. So not being so like hard on yourself in a sense.
Yeah, because I mean, aside from jujitsu, you're pretty active, right? I mean, as far as physical activities. You talk about the other things you do to stay fit.
I do yoga on Sundays with Mato when she has classes, and running. And then I'll also go to the gym. But like my normal training schedule is I'll train jujitsu like anywhere from 5 to 6 times a week. And then I'll go to the gym 3 times and then running or yoga. And both, I would say running, yoga, and the gym has definitely helped my jujitsu performance. The gym, I lift mainly just to stay fit and to stay in shape. And I do more reps. I don't lift to like max out. Like that's not my goal. It's like I lift to do like 12 to 15 reps, and just stay in shape. And so it's like when you're in a jiu-jitsu tournament and you're having to like hold your grips for a really long time, like your body is able to handle that because there's no point of like maxing out on a machine, like just so you're super strong, like technique over strength, like no matter how strong you are. I mean, well, okay, technique over strength, but technique and strength together, like that is like a core or like key component. And then running helps your endurance, to be able to like focus on your breathing when you're running. And then that translates into jiu-jitsu of like being able to regulate your breathing when you're rolling, going from like when you run like sprinting or doing long distance, like that, like helps your body. And then for, what is that? Yoga helps you be flexible and give you really good hip dexterity. So you can like be a ball on the mats. So
How
yoga helps with that. And the
how
breathing, like Mato
mm,
teaches about
mm,
breathing and being able to like regulate your breathing, and like the breathing that she teaches too, you can definitely use it when you compete, before your match. And that helps with like the mental prep. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And she also does the child's pose. So I'll do that too before I compete.
mm, mm. Cause running's fairly new, or you didn't always run, right?
No, I got into running to cut. That's how I first started.
Okay.
And then eventually I enjoyed running for just doing it.
Mm, mm.
And so I've
Do you
done like a few races.
do you run for distance, time, or just till you feel like it's time to stop?
When I first started running, I did it for like speed. Because I was like, if you run fast enough, you're going to burn more calories. But eating mindfully is the key too. But that's how I first started. And there was a point where I would just run just to like sprint like for time. And then that's how
Mm,
you end up getting injured. And
injured.
then slowly it became like I'm running for endurance and I'm running for like length. So like I've done a 5K and then I've also done, what is that? A 10K. And so like running, I would say running for distance helps.
Any aspirations of maybe doing a marathon?
Yes, I talked to you about that before. I really want to do a marathon, and I want to do a marathon in Greece. Because that's, where it all started. But that's one of my goals that I have, is to run a marathon. So I'm considering, it's a thought, maybe I might sign up for the Honolulu Marathon and run half and then walk the rest.
Mm,
And then next year, when there's the Hapalua, I will run the full half, and then that would slowly prep me to be able to run a marathon.
mm, okay. As far as lifting weights, right? Weightlifting, was that something you did from earlier on, or did that also come with jiu-jitsu training?
I've always done weightlifting. I would say at first when I started, I did it for strength to like max out. And then that's how you get injured.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But you have, those people in the gym, those meatheads who are like maxing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean
With
that
all the
kindly, they're just maxing out.
Yeah, that's their me versus me, I guess, lifting the heaviest weights possible, right?
Mhm.
I didn't get a chance to ask you, so you compete frequently as possible. Do you enjoy competition?
Yes, I love competing. Um, and I want to continue to keep competing at all of the belt colors.
What is it that you enjoy about competing? Is it the adrenaline of preparation, the actual match, getting your hand raised? Like, what do you, or is it everything?
For me, for competing, the reason why I do it is because it pushes me to grow. And that just goes back to, you are not going to grow when you are stagnant and you're in the same place. You don't want to be complacent in life. You want to keep moving forward. And so competing helps me with that. Like competing, in a sense, again, it goes back to me versus me. But with competing, it's like, I think, again, like in anything that you do in life, every single day that you wake up, you want to be a better version of yourself than you were the day before. And so that is something that I want to keep doing because like with jiu-jitsu, you can only keep like you need to keep moving forward. Every belt every belt that you get, every time that you level up, you need to keep moving forward. And so with competing, I get to keep moving forward. You know, I get to keep growing, learning new techniques. And with that too, it's like you get to build connections and relationships. Like, for instance, like I've traveled to Europe and I have dropped in at a school there um, in Hungary. And then I've also went to India and like I got to train with people in India. And we did no-gi, which is something I don't really like. But, you know, I tried it and I did it. But I still consider that training.
So I don't know if a lot of people know, but let's talk about your Shayna the World Traveler. One of your one of your
I'm
big
not a world traveler.
well, at least one of your goals that you're trying to attain through traveling about the seven wonders.
Yes. So one of my goals that I have is to be able to visit all seven wonders. I've been to Machu Picchu, so that's one. And then I went to the Taj Mahal, so that's two. And then third one, uh, if all goes well, knock on wood, um, this year I plan to go to Egypt, so visit Petra in Jordan, Petra in Jordan, and then just like visit Egypt because they're like right next to each other. Or Jordan and Egypt are like right next to each other. So that was something that I want to do. And then every year after, I want to go to another wonder. So that's something that I want to do every year. And my last wonder will be China, my motherland. If you don't know, I'm adopted from China. So I was essentially literally made in China. And so that is my last stop. So those
Yeah,
are
I
my
mean,
goals. Those are things that I
y-
want to accomplish.
yeah, I remember when we first met and you talked to me about that. I think you only had done maybe one. I don't even know if you did the first one yet, but it's like impressed that someone at your age was talking about doing something like that. I mean, kind of, you know, travel's not cheap, right? And I mean, it does take an extended, like a vacation and all those other things, but I commend you for, trying to accomplish something like that. I mean, it's pretty, I'm impressed. And I was always impressed when you told me that was one of your goals.
Traveling helps you be able to build that confidence and like independence in a sense. And it just helps you grow as a person, knowing that like I can catch a plane by myself. I can book things on my own. Like, you know, like it in a way it gives you like freedom, but also like it helps build your like your sense of self in a sense. And then that, goes back to your mindset on like if there's ever moments that you feel like, I don't know, I didn't accomplish a lot, or like you go to your job and you're like, I am not fulfilled with my job, I'm not happy, or, whatnot. Um, or you do a competition and like, for example, you lose and again, you are your own worst critic. So you tell yourself like, I'm a failure and whatnot. It's like, you can go back and reflect and be like, no, like I did these things. Like, I traveled and I got through that. Or, I had an injury and I got through that. So it's like, that goes back to your mindset.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess like you alluded to, I mean, you're doing these travels on your own. I mean, I don't know if I feel comfortable flying to a foreign country where I knew nobody and I mean, and
Well, it's with a
you've
tour group.
trained
It's with a tour group.
a tour group too, but still, I mean, you're by yourself, right? I mean, you're in a group, but you're technically by yourself with a group. Do you, I thought I heard you saying you weren't going to train on this upcoming one, but are you going to try to fit it in where you can to train as you visit
I
those?
would need to see if there's anybody uh in Egypt that anybody knows of for me to like train out there. But also again, with everything kind of going on, I want to be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we that live in Hawaii in the US, we take certain things for granted that people in those countries, they're not afforded the same luxuries, same securities. So yeah. Okay. Um, I think you've answered my questions. I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to touch on before I close this out.
Um, I wanted to just briefly talk about um kind of like who influenced my journey in a sense. And I want to give these people a lot of credit because they definitely influenced my journey, and I wouldn't be able to do jujitsu without them and be where I am today in a sense without them and without their support. So, Jeremiah, he's definitely been like an influential part of my journey. Um, I always say that he is a coach that leads by example, and I trust him. And I trust what he says when I am competing, what he teaches. Um, so he he believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and even when there are moments where I have a hard time believing in myself, like he's there and he backs you up, like he's in your corner. And so, um, he really gives you like the skills that you need to succeed. Uh, you and Carter always taking time after training to drill with me. And that truly, like, it means a lot. Because there are other people who don't want to stay late after training to keep drilling the same thing 50 times. So you and Carter also will send me like jujitsu videos too, so that definitely helps. Um, and then you and him just kind of like give me pointers. And then Alika, he's been like a he's been a great help. He has a lot of knowledge. Uh, Truly a jujitsu wizard. Like the stuff that he's taught me so far, um, I've been working on it. So like turtle and back. And I tell him, wow, what you taught actually works. And he's like, yes, yes, I know. But there were moments where I was fighting. I was fighting
Mm.
it of like, I'm not used to this. But he's been helping, and just like him opening up his home to other like athletes too to like train. And then Lisa and Jessica, they've been the Powerpuff Girls, but they're they're super supportive, and then they motivate me to show up for myself and to keep showing up and to keep going to training. And seeing them at training, uh like I said, it definitely motivates me. And the last person is Megan. Uh, when we when we train together, we scrap. We scrap. but but it's it that helps me as an athlete, and that also definitely helps her. She's super quick. She has speed, and she's really technical. So like we're also like about the same height, just like her torso is longer, but she helps me um improve in areas um that I'm kind of like weak in, or that I am weak in. So yeah, those are the people who like have really influenced my journey and still continue to influence my journey.
That's very nice. So that'll lead nicely into my last question that I close out with. Where do you want your jujitsu journey to take you?
Eventually, I want to be a black belt. Like I want to get my black belt, and I want to get my black belt under Jeremiah. I wouldn't want my black belt from anybody else but him. Um, and I am interested in helping out at kids class because I did help with kids classes before in the past. And helping out with kids class, it helps you with like patience, but also like kind of helping reinforce what you learn, like really simple technique, even if it's like passing or shrimps. Like by you being able to teach that to somebody else, like you're also learning in that process too. And it it's really fulfilling when you teach kids, because you can also see their growth too. And when you teach kids and you see them win at tournaments, and you see like their confidence grow, and even if they don't see it, you know, that's something that's really fulfilling. And that's something that I'm interested in doing, which is eventually teaching kids or
Very
kids
nice.
class, or maybe just teaching technique in jiu-jitsu too. How to shrimp.
All right, Shayna, I want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday to be part of our journey. And I'm going to see you again shortly in class this week. But
Yes.
till then, I'll see you later. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, hang on. Let's just see where